Hi everyone, it is Beth with Flying by the Seat of My Plants, and today I am cleaning out my raised beds. And the beds I'm working on here are, I put these beds in, I think this is going on the third year that I've had them, and last year I had all my peppers here. They did absolutely fabulous. And but when I was working in the other raised beds back by my in-ground, I was having trouble with those beds last year and I couldn't figure out why, and I thought maybe I forgot to amend the soil. And so I planted melons there, Kajari melons, that never did anything. I planted them twice and it never grew. And everything kind of did not do well in those beds last year. Cucumbers only made it about halfway up the trellis, and so I couldn't understand why. So this year, I wanted to really amend those beds. So when I started digging down in there, that's when I discovered my beds were getting full of tree roots. So I went over here the other day just to see if anything was going on with tree roots. Well, they're full of tree roots. And so I have a little cultivator, and I went ahead and cultivated in my beds just to kind of loosen it up, because when I use the pitchfork, it was just really hard to just try and turn it because it's so dense. And I'm going to turn the camera down so you can see what I've already pulled out of the one bed, and then see what's going on with this. I got another raised bed on the other end, and I put that one in last year, and there's hardly any tree roots in that one. So they haven't made it to those beds yet. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and turn that soil, and but I'm going to turn the camera so you can see what's going on, and a lot of tree roots. Okay, so here is this bed, and here's my pitchfork. I already went through with the that tiller, but you can hear it. Okay, so try and loosen that up a little, and I'll show you what I got out of the one bed. There's a pile here. This one doesn't seem, I mean, there's a lot in here, but it doesn't seem as bad as the other one was. But here's some. They're very dense. I mean, this is what I got out of the one bed so far, all of this. This one does not seem as bad. All of that. So until I figure this out, I think the solution to my problem is I'm going to have to till, every spring, and Oh, here's a really big root. But then they get all the little feeders. Oh, there's a grub. And they grow really dense. I'm gonna go to the next bed and see how that's doing. And anyhow, I think you're getting the idea. They grow very dense and will fill up your whole bed. And they will suck all the nutrients out of your soil. So I think I'm going to have to do it twice a year, in the fall and in the spring, to try and stay on top of it. I'm pulling as many of the big ones that have made it into the bed. Whew. Look at how dense that is. I mean, the dirt falls pretty easy from it, so that's good. But yeah, this is all filling into my beds. So you're kind of getting the idea. So one thing you really have to do is, if you have any raised beds without a bottom, to be honest with you, even if you have a ground cover on it, they'll eventually get up through that. Okay, here's this one. Whoa. Okay, so anyhow, so far I got those 3 beds done. Sadly, I had to take out some of my plants, but you know what? Hopefully, I just can't plant perennials in here. But I went over, try to do the cultivator to get more of the larger roots out so I could pull on them. Otherwise, they're going to form all those little roots. And there's some in here. I'm working on this bed. Or maybe that bed. What a mess. So far, this is all that I pulled out. This is all massive, dense tree roots. So I still have that bed I'm working on. I got to do that bed and those 2 beds down there. And then, of course, all of these beds. I really haven't even started digging. I just started going on I kind of went over the top of these. These are the ones that I planted melon in here twice last year, and they did nothing. So You can see the roots in these beds. So these I think I have to empty, so I have to figure this out. But yep, these beds, that's not even digging. And this one I kind of went down a little bit. I haven't really dug deep to see how that's doing. And then of course this bed, and then I have these 4 beds I put in last year. I haven't even started to see what's going on with this yet. So there's that. Okay, so the moral of the story, if you have raised beds, like right now, it's right before planting season, so I am cultivating, cleaning the beds out of as much of those roots as I can get. You've seen the wheelbarrow is overflowing with roots right now, and those are just from 4 beds. So I have more to do. I have my garlic growing over there, but I won't know how that's doing until, you know, time to harvest, so we'll see how that goes. The 2 beds on the end I just put in last year, so those were not too bad, but still. Okay, I know we're going in. It's really hot out, so Abby wants to go in. And she hates going in the house when I'm out here. Okay, so then I have those 4 beds in the back, so I figure right now, to keep up with it, I'm just going to do what I'm doing right now, using the cultivator and pulling as much of the hard roots out, plus all the dense feeder roots, and amending the soil, and I will plant, because right now I don't feel like dealing too much with those, except what I'm doing right now, and hopefully everything goes well. Last year my peppers were there, they did really well. And this is going into the 3rd season. So I didn't notice that last year when I was planting, so I think this all happened at the end of the season last year where it really got dense. And those beds back there, they're 24 inches deep. And so this will be my going into the 4th year for those. So I have a feeling they're probably pretty dense over there. And the other 4, the bigger ones, I just put in last year. So I'm going to go through that. And so the only suggestion, you know, check every spring, turn it with a pitchfork. You know, last year I let everything go for insects and hibernation and all that kind of stuff, but I don't think I could do that. And the thing, you know, you really don't want to till in a raised bed, but I don't think I have much of a choice. But I did watch a couple other videos of people on how they dealt with it. If you live in a suburban, urban area and there's trees around, you're probably going to have that problem unless, even the weed cloth, I mean, eventually they'll get through that. I don't know, unless you find a really, really good one. But those are so shallow over there, I kept them open because I want the worms and everything to get in there and the roots to be able to go down deep for whatever I plant over there. So I think I'm just going to have to keep tilling that. And I'll do it in the spring and then amend it and then do it in the fall again. I think that's the only way I can keep up with it over there. But anyhow, I watched a video. This was happening to a woman, and she started using the plastic bins, and she was drilling the holes about this far up from the bottom, several holes, instead of drilling on the bottom, so the roots would not go up there, and they won't go up into the side. So that resolved her issue. And my in-ground garden, I till that every year, so that's why I've never had an issue back there in the in-ground. Now the ones around my greenhouse, I have to go through those also to see how they're doing, but the roots are going to find fertile soil and watered. I mean, because you water your raised beds all the time when you have vegetables. I know, Abby, we're going in. So anyhow, I'm going to go in for a while with Abby and do a little bit of editing, take a little break, then come back out and work on them again. But the sun is out, it's getting hot. Abby's upset. Huh, Abby? You ready to go in? You ready to go in? So anyhow, thanks for joining me, guys, and I hope those are some helpful tips. If you do have raised beds, keep that in mind. I never even thought about that until this year. So never had a problem around the greenhouse though. But anyhow, I hope that helps. And all right, I will talk to you guys on the next one. All right, bye.